Welcome back. I am trying to be more enthusiastic with my voice because that's good for videos. Yeah, I overslept last night, this morning. It's weird when you work nights like that. But I overslept. Didn't get anything done with doing any kind of videos, but I have had some time, it being Sunday, to root around and get the information I want. I figured out how to make the videos work, so I actually should be posting 3, maybe 4 videos in the next day. Yeah. So today, for my voice, I'm going back to the Dresden Files. There's a conversation. I'm just for some background. When I work out, I'm trying to do a lot of cardio, and so when I'm on the treadmill or the elliptical, I listen to audiobooks. It's something to do. And I've been working my way very slowly through the Dresden Files. When you only listen to things for 30, 45 minutes at a time, and it's 8 hours long, you work your way slowly through it. So I've been listening to the Dresden Files. I'm on Proven Guilty, a book in the series where Harry's been through a lot of stuff, and now the war with the Red Court's gotten pretty bad. There's black magic in Chicago, and he has had to kind of deal with several things all at once and has found out some pretty terrible things. And now he's having a conversation with a priest. And I love this because one of the things I love about the Dresden Files is it's not about magic, it's about faith. And his faith is in his magic, but Father Fort Hill's faith is in God. And that's not discounted, it's accepted as a powerful force as well. And this particular conversation is about choice, which I like very much. So we'll see how it goes. See if I can voice it in a way that you could tell the difference between Father Fort Hill and Harry. And this is with almost no practice, so live with me. I beat it and started walking. It didn't matter where. There were too many things flying around in my head. I just walked. Motion wasn't a cure, but I was tired enough that it kept the thoughts, the emotions from drowning me. I walked down hallways and through empty rooms. I wound up in the chapel proper. I've been in smaller stadiums. Gleaming hardwood floors shine over the whole of the chapel. Wooden pews stand in ranks, row upon row, and the altar and nave are gorgeously decorated. It seats more than 1,000 people, including the balcony at the rear of the chapel, and every Sunday they still have to run 8 masses in 4 different languages to fit everyone in. More than size and artistry, though, there is something else about the place that makes it more than simply a building. There's a sense of quiet power there, deep, warm, and reassuring. There's peace. I stood for a moment in the vast and empty room and closed my eyes. Right then, I needed all the peace I could get. I drifted through the room, idly admiring it, and wound up in the balcony, all the way at the top, in a dark corner. I leaned my head back against a wall. Lashlow's voice came to me very quietly, and it sounded odd. Sad. It's beautiful here. I didn't bother to agree. I didn't tell her to get lost. I leaned my head back against the rear wall and closed my eyes. I woke up when Fort Hill's steps drew near. I kept my eyes closed, hoping that if I didn't seem to waken, he would go away. Instead, he settled a couple of feet down the pew from me and remained patiently quiet. The act wasn't working. I opened my eyes and looked at him. "What happened?" he asked. I pressed my lips together and looked away. "It's all right," Father Fort Hill said quietly. "If you wish to tell me, I'll speak of it to no one." "Maybe I don't want to talk to you," I said. "Of course," he said. "But my offer stands. Should you wish to talk, sometimes the only way to carry a heavy burden is to share it with another. It's your choice to make." choices. Sometimes I thought it might be nice not to make any choices. If I never had one, I would never screw it up. There are things I don't care to share with a priest, I told him, but I was mostly thinking out loud. He nodded, took off his collar, and set it aside. He settled back into the pew, reached into his jacket, drew out a slender silver flask. He opened it, took a sip, and offered it to me. Then share it with your bartender. That drew a faint, snorting laugh from me. I shook my head, took the flask, and sipped. An excellent, smooth Scotch. I sipped again and told him what happened at the convention and how it had spilled over into the Carpenter household. He listened. We passed the flask back and forth. I finished by saying, I sent those things to her door. I never meant it to happen. Of course not, he said. It doesn't make me feel any better about it. Nor should it, he said. But you must know that you are a man of power. How so? Power, he said, waving a hand in an all-encompassing gesture. All power is the same. Magic, physical strength, economic strength, political strength. It all serves a single purpose. It gives its possessor a broader spectrum of choices. It creates alternative courses of action. I guess, I said. So, he said, you have more choices, which means that you have much improved odds of making mistakes. You're only human. Once in a while, you're going to screw the pooch. I don't mind that, I said, when I'm the only one who pays for it. But that isn't in your control, he said. You cannot see all outcomes. You couldn't have known that those creatures would go to the Carpenter house. I ground my teeth. So, Daniel's still hurt. Molly could be dead. But their condition was not yours to ordain, Father Forthill said. All power has its limits. Then what's the point? I snarled, suddenly furious. My voice bounced around the chapel in rasping echoes. What good is it to have enough power to kill my friend's family, but not power enough to protect them? What the hell do you expect from me? I've got to make these stupid choices. What the hell am I supposed to do with them? Sometimes, he replied, tone serious, you just have to have faith. I laughed. It came out loud and bitter. Mocking echoes of it drifted through the vast chamber. Faith, I said. Faith in what? That things will unfold as they are meant to, Forthill said. That even in the face of an immediate ugliness, the greater picture will resolve into something all the more beautiful. Show me, I spat. Show me something beautiful about this. Show me the silver lining. He pursed his lips, mused for a moment, and then he said, There's a quote from the founder of my order. There is something holy, something divine, hidden in the most ordinary situations, and it's up to each one of us to discover it. What's that supposed to mean? I asked. That the good that will come is not always obvious, nor easy to see, nor in the place we would expect to find it, nor what we personally desire. You should consider that the good being created by the events this night may have nothing to do with the defeat of supernatural evils or endangered lives. It may be something very quiet, very ordinary. I frowned at him. Like what? Finished off the little flask, then rose and put it away and put his collar back on. I'm afraid I'm not the one you should ask. He put a hand on my shoulder and nodded towards the altar. But I will say this. I've been on this earth a fair while, and one way or another, this too shall pass. I've seen worse things reverse themselves. There is yet hope for Molly, Harry. We must strive to do our utmost and to act with wisdom and compassion, but we must also have faith that the things beyond our control are not beyond his. I sat quietly for a minute. Then I said, "You almost make me believe." He arched an eyebrow. "But I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if it's possible for me." Corners of his eyes wrinkled. "Then perhaps you should try to have faith that you might one day have faith." His fingers squeezed and then released my shoulder. He turned to go. "Padre," I said. He paused. "You won't tell Charity?" He turned his head, and I could see sadness in his profile. "No, you aren't the only one too afraid to believe." So, talking about faith, talking about belief, talking about choice. And choice is one of those big things that the struggle and the happy and sad truth of choice that I've come across is that it's a big gift. It's a gift that God gave to all of us, that we have the choice to do whatever we want. And the problem is that gift can sometimes be a curse on everyone else when we choose to make choices that negatively impact other people, and when you are the person that is negatively impacted by other people's choices. But the problem is, everyone's like, well, why didn't God stop that person? Why can this happen? Well, because everyone is free to choose. That means everyone's free to choose good things or to choose bad things. It sucks, but if some people get the choice to do good things, then some people can use that choice to do bad things. And we have to choose how to react to that. I feel like I talked about that previously. So those are my thoughts. Ran a little longer than I wanted to. It was a good passage. So that's my voice. Now what?